Last week, you may remember, Eddie and Alex Van Halen emerged from the ongoing ruckus to deny they'd ever considered rehiring original frontman David Lee Roth to replace the departed Sammy Hagar, and to deny they'd fired Hagar, whose work ethic they impugned in passing. No further word yet from the Roth camp, but last weekend, Chris Connolly listened as Hagar weighed in with his side of the tale. And here it is.
He put out a press release saying, "I quit." A week later, he says, "I kicked him out." Now, you sticking to both stories, Sam? I'll take a lie detector test.
Good. Time to take one. Well, exactly when? Because this has been going on a long time, I think. Well, the truth of the matter is, the first thing that happened was that I was called by Eddie on Father's Day morning, you know. Eddie just goes, "You know, you really frustrate me. You never do anything I asked you to do." And I'm going, "Well, yeah, I do." I mean, you know, it's like, you know, I mean, there really wasn't a problem like this in our whole 11 years of creativity. And he said, "But you never do what I asked you to do," and I got so frustrated, I went and got Roth, and we've been working with him, and it's been working out great. And he goes, and you've always been a solo artist anyway, you might as well just go back to being a solo artist. Quote, unquote, exactly that. And I went, wow. I mean, I was floored. I just looked at my wife, and I went, like, you ain't gonna believe this, you know?
Hagar says he might have left Van Halen anyway, after criticism from the band of his lyrics and onstage demeanor, as well as its decision to release a greatest hits record. I
probably would have quit by the end of this year. I bet you if we wouldn't have done a record and the greatest hits record, they would have wanted to go out and do tours and press off the greatest hits record, I would have said, I am not doing it. You know, I won't tour on a greatest hits record. That's like basically saying we're over. Biggest waste of time in the world. Strictly money.
People say, though, that you had an objection to the greatest hits record because you were in some way jealous of Roth's legacy. You didn't want to remind the audience that he had been in the band before. Is that true?
Come on, why is the greatest hits record all of a sudden going to remind people that Roth is in the band? Roth reminds people every day that he was in the band. There's no question. Roth will never go away. He never has gone away. There's nothing to do with that. Last show in Japan on this last tour, he was wasted, and man, he played horrible. Like, embarrassingly horrible. Ed hasn't been sober for 2 years. That's, you know, absolutely not. You know, anyone that says he has been is lying.
Daniels calls Hagar's accusation, quote, a cheap shot by a guy who will be known as the worst Sour Grapes character in the history of rock and roll.
I felt like I lost some friends out of this deal, and I really, really have. I'm a survivor, man, because I'm over it. I'm fine with it now. You know, I'm making a new record. I'm just going to get on with it. I still love these guys. We made the best music probably I'll ever make in my entire life, you know, and I'm proud of it. I have nothing bad to say about it, but I hate the way it ended. You could take all my clothes, everything I've got, throw me out in the desert, and I'll come back. Fully dressed with a brand new car. That sounds like something Roth to say, doesn't it? I'm sorry. Beat you, Dave, to that one.
In a new statement, Van Halen manager Ray Daniels says the band never had any intention of touring behind its greatest hits album. This was supposed to buy us a year off, Daniels told MTV News, adding that, quote, Sammy was all too happy to take the money. As for Hagar's story about Eddie Van Halen being drunk in Japan, Daniels now says that, quote, Eddie was straight, but that, quote, if he had a slip, that's probably when it was, because it was the end of the tour. Daniels also charged that, quote, Sammy was totally uncooperative and unsupportive of Ed's efforts to stay sober. He insisted on alcohol in the dressing rooms and would toast him on stage.
He was high and just didn't hear the truth, but he was never told, or we never alluded to him being back in the band. It was just a project.
A project that debuted at #1, no less. But instead of a reunion, Van Halen will be reborn in '97 with Extreme's Gary Cherone at the mic.
I just feel sorry for Gary that he's got to walk up there in a 2-hour show. He's going to sing an hour and 45 minutes probably of Sammy Hagar and David Lee Roth songs. And you can walk into nightclubs anywhere in the world and see people doing that, you know.
Oh, that was embarrassing, wasn't it? Well, I mean, I kind of was embarrassed.
I checked out the MTV Awards, and it was cool to see David Lee Roth up there with them, you know, their ex-frontman.
Just the publicness of it, you know, watching them there on MTV and thinking, oh, I could see it crumbling, you know, right there on national TV.
I don't buy that, because, I mean, he was just being Dave. You know, he was just doing the thing he does, which is, you know, just going off.
People are really fanatical about that band, though, which is a real testament to their longevity, I guess.
It's just old school Dave, you know, in effect.